Hello and welcome to lesson 4 in our series on wired and wireless networks, protocols and layers. Today we're going to finish off looking at protocols by looking at SMTP, POP and IMAP. Sounds fun. As you can see, we've done most of the protocols already. Don't need to worry about those. But today we've just got the final series to get through. So it's all about email today. Email is an application that's been around for a long time, since the 1970s. In fact, it was the original killer app to get people to network their computers together.
Subject: fire. Dear Sir Stroke Madam, I'm writing to inform you of a fire which has broken out at the premises of... No, that's too formal.
Email uses many different protocols. For the OCR GCSE syllabus, you need to know about these three: SMTP, POP, and IMAP, how they're different, how they're the same, all the other good stuff. So how does email work? Well, you send an email, for example, from your PC, and it goes to a mail server, a special computer set up to handle email across a wide area network like the internet. The mail server sends it across the internet until it arrives at the receiving mail server. And then it waits there. It doesn't do anything. It waits until the person that you're sending it to logs in with their computer, and then they retrieve the email from that mail server to their computer. So the first protocol we need to know about is SMTP, the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. We use SMTP to send email from a PC, a computer, to a mail server, and from mail servers to mail servers across the internet. The sender sends the message and does not care if the receiver is available or not. Because of this, it's not suitable to deliver messages to a home or an office PC, which might not always be turned on and available. Mail servers, we can guarantee, are probably going to be operating 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. So we can send it to the mail server, and the mail server can send it across the internet to other mail servers. But that final leg of the journey, from the final mail server to the recipient computer, we don't know if that computer is going to be turned on, so we can't use it to deliver, because SMTP doesn't care if the sender is available or not. It just sends it and basically hopes for the best. POP, Post Office Protocol, now on to version 3. This is used by home or office client PCs to retrieve emails from a mail server. So if you're answering a question about POP, use the word retrieve. It retrieves emails from a mail server. The email's been sent, it's waiting on the mail server. I log in, my email client contacts the mail server, says, hey, any emails for me? And then I can retrieve those emails and look at them on my PC. So the receiving computer starts the process by asking the mail server for mail. POP, however, has fairly limited features. Any emails downloaded to the client are deleted from the mail server. This means you cannot access emails from multiple devices or multiple locations. So think about it. You check your email on your desktop. Okay, I've got a couple of new emails there. That's fine. And then later in the day, you're sitting in a coffee shop. You've got your laptop out and you go, oh, I'll just go check those new emails. You can't see them. They've been downloaded from the mail server onto your desktop. They're not available to look at in any other device, because after they've been downloaded by POP, they are deleted from the mail server. POP also has other limited features. It does not support complex searches of emails on the server, and only supports one mailbox, amongst other things. So this brings us on to IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, now on to version 4. Does a similar job to POP. It allows you to retrieve emails from a mail server. So again, it's used for retrieving emails on the final leg of their journey. They're waiting on the mail server. Your computer logs in, and using IMAP, you retrieve the email and you can watch it on your computer. Watch it, view it, read it, something like that. IMAP, superficially similar to POP, does basically the same job, but it's a lot more advanced. Mail is stored on the mail server until it is specifically deleted. This means you can access your email from multiple devices in multiple locations. So unlike in the previous example with POP, you could view it on your desktop and then check on your laptop from a coffee shop and view the same messages. IMAP can also have multiple mailbox, more advanced search features. It's generally just much more advanced than POP. If it is more advanced than POP, why do we still use the Post Office Protocol? Well, Post Office Protocol has been around for such a long time, it's supported by every mail server. So if you're having trouble setting up an email connection and there's some kind of problem, you can just default to POP. It's always going to be supported. But you generally want to use something more modern, for example, like IMAP, if you can possibly use that instead. So again, difference between IMAP and POP, because this will come up in the exam quite a lot. So remember, with POP, once I've downloaded my message, it's deleted from the mail server, so it's not available for me to look at in other devices later on. Whereas with IMAP, I can check my email on one computer, then check for new email on another computer in another location at a later time, and I can still see those messages. So we go back to our original diagram from earlier in the lesson, just to show you how those protocols are used. I'm sending an email to my friend, so it's sending it from my client PC to the mail server using SMTP. SMTP is then used to send it from mail server to mail server across the internet, where it waits until my friend logs into his PC, starts his email software, and then that can communicate with the mail server using POP or IMAP, and then retrieve that email onto my friend's PC so that he can read it. Of course, actually, a lot of us use Webmail. We use Gmail, we use Outlook.com or something like that if you're using a Microsoft account. In that case, it does look slightly different. You don't really need to know this for the syllabus, but it's just a common question that I get asked. So actually, if you're using Webmail, then a lot of it's happening through HTTP, because the Hypertext Transfer Protocol is what your web browser uses for sending and receiving web pages. So when I go into, say, Gmail, to send an email, it's initially going to be sent using HTTP, because that's how it communicates from my computer to the Google Mail server. But then it's going to be sent using SMTP from mail server to mail server, and then my friend is going to view it, again using HTTP, because you're going to view it in a web browser. Slightly different for using Webmail, but you don't need to know this for the exam. That's just for a bit of interest. Okay, summary. SMTP is used to send email from PC to mail server and mail server to mail server. POP and IMAP are used to retrieve emails from a mail server onto a client PC. IMAP has more advanced features than POP, including the ability to access email from multiple devices. Well, that's all from me. I think we've finished all the protocols now, so hopefully you found all that useful. I'll be back in another lesson soon. Good luck with your studies.
That's all, folks.